Alright, so this video is not intended to be racist or whatever, but this particular video is kind of like in conjunction with my so-called black males who are targeted individuals. Now, we know that a lot of the crimes that take place within the black community, of course, many of them are indeed engineered, but overall, black males in general, whether you call it social or slavery, I mean, whatever you blame it on, okay, overall, black males have a higher crime rate, but at the same time, white women are more likely to fall victim to this human trafficking scheme. We can basically paint a picture that whatever's going on is not really revolved around crimes or investigations or anything like that. But if you are a black male and a targeted individual, as I said, niggas in my community, or any community for that matter, they go to prison, they get out, they go to prison, they get out. And, they are not really going to deal with quote unquote gang stalking. It's not going to really happen because when it comes to organized harassment, it's really just an ongoing mind game. And honestly, the people, who put this together, they are using satellite technology. This is what I mean by satellite technology. You could be a person who's real, reserved, quiet. You may not even have a Facebook or Instagram account, or even a MySpace. Sorry, my words kind of got tied up, smoked too much. But you may not have any of these so-called accounts, but at the same time, you are being targeted by all of these people when otherwise you are a quiet person who just minds his or her own business. So what's going on really has nothing to do with activism. It has nothing to do with you being over spoken or outspoken or whatever you want to call it. It has nothing to do with that. There are activists who are not being targeted. There are people with the so-called Hebrew Israelites who are not being targeted. There are just a bunch of very influential people, and they are not being targeted at all. And they are very active on social media. I mean, just look at Black Lives Matter. I'm just saying, they are very active. And they are not being targeted at all. As a matter of fact, most targeted people are probably just real quiet people who typically minded their own business. Now, when it comes to black males in general, yeah, a lot of the crimes that take place throughout our communities are engineered, of course. But at the same time, black males do overall commit crimes at a higher rate than a lot of other groups. But at the same time, the so-called black males committing the crimes are not being targeted. I mean, as a matter of fact, they'll go to prison time and time and time again, and then they'll get out, probably get a good job, and then they'll go to prison again for something else. And then out of nowhere, this nigga has become a pastor or a man of God, and then he puts this documentary out. Now, this dude could have robbed somebody at gunpoint. He could have done anything under the sun. And people would praise this guy because he, is finally living, this straight edge sort of life all of a sudden. But at the same time, you are a targeted individual, a black male, no criminal record, usually. And if you do have a record, it's not going to be anything serious. Especially when you got pedophiles and sex offenders and these other people all around you. But at the same time, it's like it's all eyes on you. Okay? What's going on with targeted individuals in general is brain entertainment. So what is brain entertainment? Well, if you are a targeted person, you are on neural monitoring, even if you don't know, okay? I can swear to God by that. As a matter of fact, if I'm lying, I get struck down by lightning right now. All targeted people are on neural monitoring. This is how they can bring up things you did in private, stuff you thought about. I'm just saying, they can see what you see, they can hear what you hear, and they know your every single last thought. Okay, this is satellite-based technology. Your brain is on a network. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. Your brain is on a network. And if your brain is on a network, guess what? Your brain is free to the public. So this is how the targeting game works, really. And that's really it. It's brain entertainment. When they pour the street theater out in public, you can best believe that they know exactly how you reacted to it. And that's really it. They are not looking for threats. They are not looking for any of that. Okay? They are just merely trying to basically make a movie out of your life. The street theater, certain colors. I'm just saying, you know what they do. We all know what they do. And with targeted people who experience the artificial telepathy, they speak to you 24/7. This is not AI. You can ask any real legitimate targeted person who knows what's going on. This is not AI at all. I can swear to God by that. There's no AI whatsoever. These people are well aware of what they are doing. So let me get into another aspect of it. For example, there have been maybe 4 different scenarios where there was this one person at work who was like real nice to me starting off, but at the same time there was something like off about them. Like I can tell when somebody's off. So push come to shove, they'll start doing some weird things, and then at that point, I would just kind of subliminally, I would tell them to kind of fuck off. I'm not going to deal with you if you are one of these freaks. But a lot of times these people, they were already involved in what's going on. Believe me, they are not just going to new people every day. There are people already in place for this type of scheme. Okay, this is worldwide. So these people will trait like they are just some good person, smiling, friendly, or whatever, and then out of nowhere they start acting, different. All right, but I'm just saying they were already a part of this game. Okay, I'm telling you what I know. Usually, if I meet a person who's not part of the game, they never were part of it, and they likely never will be part of it. Just like most targeted people will never, ever, ever transition to a gang stalker. It's not going to happen. So it's not going to happen. If it would have happened, it would have happened by now. If somebody would have came to me or you, it's not going to happen. Okay, and I'm talking about an app or a program, not some. Oh yeah, this guy told me this. This guy, no, you can't go by word from mouth. It's not going to work. You need the app or program. Get the app or program, and there you go. But since since these people can, infiltrate your mind and your eyes, they can see what you see. Then if these people were to spill the beans, I'm just saying, they can see what you see. Okay, this is different than ordinary tracking. Okay, and if you have tinnitus, then that is neural monitoring. Even if you don't have it, you are on it. Okay, this is how they can bring up stuff you do in private. For example, you can buy something from the store, right? And it can be like this one specific product, and then out of nowhere, somebody else just comes up and then they starts talking to you about that particular product. And it happens to me. It happened to me a while back, like coming up, even when I was young. This would happen a whole lot, and I didn't know why, but now I do. So that's really it. You are on neural monitoring, and you are Mr. Truman, okay, or Miss Truman. Usually the people they target are quiet people. We are not outspoken. We are not whistleblowers. Okay, I don't know who the hell's telling all this shit, but most targeted people I know are normal people, and most of them are generally women, and they don't have a criminal record, so they do not fit the real criminal profile of the black male, the big bad black male. So it's not. It's really not it. Overall, when it comes to trafficking, women are usually going to be the number one on the list, and this is why most targeted people are women. These individuals are very sick, and as Plankton once said to what he said to, why don't I send you down the river floating in the I sure.
That's what it is!
Hey, you can't talk to my grandson like that. Someone ought to put you in a mental hospital.
Someone should put you in a box floating down the river!